Okay, I'm just out here because these people had some garage door experts out one Friday night. They replaced the cables. They might have been rusted or snapped. This one's pretty good, nice and tight, even though the door does go up a bit too far. The maximum you really need to go up is level with the lintel there. Any more than that's not really necessary and puts extra stress on your cables. But you get away with this one. The cables aren't really overlapping. Maybe one more, it'll start to overlap the next cable on. But we'll check for noise as well. If you get cable noise when the door's up, you're going up too high. Let's come across to this side. Now this one's very interesting. The way this is spooling up on the cable drum, very interesting indeed. Yeah, fantastic job, guys. Check out how loose this cable is. Yeah, that's going to stay on there a couple more weeks if you're lucky. So that means this door generally will be running out of square. So let's come along. A tight cable like that one generally means that side of the door is down because it's under more tension. And this door is a bit higher. You can almost see the level right there on the brickwork. It's a bit dark, but come across the edge of the door. Massive gap up there. And then you come down here, the gap narrows quite substantially. So there should be a big gap on this side, which there is. And then it should narrow on this corner. Wow, quite a lot. So that door is definitely not running square. So just having a look at this side that's loose, it runs along this part of the bracket on the side here with a crimp on the end, out this hole, back in and around this loop and up to the cable drum. And then when the door's down, it wraps around that loop there. I'll take you to the other side. Coming over to the other side, that looks good at a glance. You may notice a difference. The way that cable has been run, it should be going around that loop and up to the cable drum from this angle. I don't know how, but they've wrapped it around the roller. And it comes out right next to the wheel, which is totally jammed up. So yeah, they came out to do the cables and they can't even do that properly. So the cable should be running from the crimped end out through this hole, back through this hole, around that curvature and up to the cable drum. So when the door is closing, it wraps nicely around that bracket away from the roller. So it looks like we have to fix that up as well. So these guys said the door just needs a service. They've replaced the cables, which is fantastic, but it just needs a service. They've told the customer, what do you reckon? One, that chain is one of the rustiest chains I've seen. And just a little bit slack there, guys, you reckon? That chain should be hanging below the rail. Very dry here. Hinges and rollers look super dry. Generally, when we replace cables, it only takes another 10 or 15 minutes to do a proper service on a garage door. So if we've done this, you know who you are. I'd probably get out of the garage door game if I was you, because that's just shocking. All right, let's give this door a run and see how it's actually running and how it was left. Chain. Fantastic. So that's how they left the chain. That's brilliant. Gotta love that. Let's check out the spring to see if they've even put some oil on the spring. That spring hasn't been oiled for quite a few years. That's got dry rust on it. Good job, guys. All right, let's get to servicing this door and getting it to run safely and for many years to come. Okay, so the door's had a thorough lubrication. We've got a beautifully oiled spring there, which will last a few years. Even given the cable drums and oil as well, so the cables last a much longer time without friction. There was quite a bit of rust built up on the cable drum there. And of course, oiled the bearings on each end of the shaft. Now, another thing I noticed with this door, they have put very little spring tension on this. Check this out. So you go to lift the door to get your car out when there's a power failure. You let that go. Down it comes. Not great for the door, not great for the motor either. It's a lot more weight for the motor to lift, so we need to retension that spring as well to the correct spring tension. Another great job, guys. At least you've made the chain easier to lubricate. That's one good thing. Much better. All right, that looks much better. Out that hole, in through that hole, around the bottom of the bracket and up to the cable drum. All right, now we just need to re-level the door and we'll be good to go. Okay, we've got the door at a good height, still above the lintel, but not excessive. The cables aren't on an excessive angle. The cable drum looks good, a nice tight cable on that side. And then coming across this side, where it used to be loose, we've got a nice tight cable on the drum as well. Make sure that one's on the bracket as well. Just have a look behind this rubber. Yep, that one looks good. We'll just double check this has got a correct run through the bracket. That looks very good. Nice and taut. Fantastic. Now you also see that this motor or the garage door wasn't stickered up with any business names. Quite understandably, but this one here deserves one of our stickers. Job well done. Just double check the door gaps. That looks nice and level. Beautiful. Along the track. Pretty good. And nice and even. Very nice. All right, job done.
I'm that roller door bloke. Thanks for watching.